Hello and welcome back to Everybody Loves Desmond's Creek. I fooled you.
You had me fooled for a second.
Last time we met, the party had finished their dealings with their new business partners through the Syndicate, and were making their way back to the Syndicate's hideout when the guards that they had passed earlier in the tunnels, who appeared to be standing around the missing statue of the tunnel's founding father, let's call him for short, called out to them and asked suspiciously what their involvement with the rats they had just been mauled by was, since they had witnessed the party go by with a full wagon. Then the rats attacked, and now they were coming back with an empty wagon. Well, not quite empty. It had a dead rat on it. So, being extremely suspicious of this, the guards pressed them. This, of course, escalated very quickly, as Morgan had zero patience for the tone of the guard's voice. And then things went from bad to worse as the violence began. So, while Reggie had been leading one guard around in circles, the party started a fight with the rest. As he's returning, he sent that guard to hide so that he and the party could deal with the remaining guards and then, move on from there. So, we rejoin the party as they are in the midst of combat. We're at the top of the combat order. We're starting with Al, and Twilight has just cast darkness upon her weapon, creating a cloud of impenetrable magical blackness, and moved over on top of several of the guards. Al, you, being a shadow dancer of equal level, are also capable of penetrating this darkness with your eyes. So I will reveal these for you.
Excellent.
You can see everybody in the darkness.
Okay.
They are casting about warily. Very clearly, none of them is a shadow dancer. None of them seems to be capable of piercing the darkness with their own eyes as you are.
Alright. I think I want to continue the fact that I have been trying my best to not make these lethal attacks.
Okay.
Because I really don't want more blood on my hands any more than the next guy.
I mean, the best way to make non-lethal attacks is, well, to not attack. The second best way to make non-lethal attacks is to use a melee weapon.
Yeah. Does it, expend anything if I were to switch to a dagger?
If you drop the bow, then it doesn't expend any resources. It's just, you can only unsheath or sheath a weapon. You're also holding the bow in your offhand, so you can just pull out a dagger and use it as long as you don't plan to use the bow right away. You can just be holding it.
I think that's gonna be my plan then, because I don't really trust anybody to just drop my bow and move on with my life. Anyway, closest enemy that I would not struggle to get to, I guess, is best way that I want to word that.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So with a 30, this is as far as you can get, and because you're in the hallway where the lights come on, you can't shadow step. But if you get to here, you can shadow step because you'd be in darkness.
I would like to do that then.
Okay, so I will move you. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Put you in the darkness. You may now use a bonus action to shadow step. You can shadow step up to whatever it says, 35 feet or something like that.
I would like to do that, and yeah. I know as it stands right now, I cannot, attack. Because I have used my action and my bonus action.
What was your action?
Never mind. Pardon me.
You can attack.
I am still waking up, apparently. Holy shit.
So,
anywho.
First thing first. Where would you like to shadow step to? In here, you have guard 1, 3, 5, and 4 are still up and able to act. The other 2 are dead, who are guard 2 and guard 7. Among 1, 3, 5, and 4, 1 is just above bloodied. 3 is bloodied. 4 and 5. 1, 3, 4, 5. 4 is not bloody, and 5 is bloody. 3 is slightly more hurt than 5.
I would like to go for 4 then.
Alright, that is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You're able to teleport at least 30, right?
This teleport's 20.
20 at this level.
Okay. So, the farthest you could get with that is over to guard 5, who is the most hurt. Slightly, actually, I'm sorry. 3 is the most hurt. 4 is the least hurt. But given what you are capable of resources-wise, this is as far as you can go. So...
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I figured you'd want to be on 5 as opposed to 1 or 3, since 1 and 3 are next to each other, but that doesn't matter when they're blind.
Yeah.
I guess, do you want to be next to 1 or 3 instead? 3, you know that 1 has Spider's Rapier.
Okay.
Forgot about that.
I didn't.
I guess... Between 1 and 3, you said 1 is the most injured out of everybody, yes?
3 is the most injured out of everybody. 1 is a little bit less injured than 3.
Okay. Again, non-lethal attack. I would really like to... just at least get Spider's Rapier.
Okay. So, you feel very comfortable and at home once you enter the shadows. They feel welcoming to you, and looking around and seeing how the guards around you are very much not at ease, in some cases terrified, not able to see, trying to figure out what they can do. You feel very superior in this position, very confident. You meld into the shadows and move yourself over to one. Do you want this position? You can move to 1, 2, 3. You could be here. You could be here. You could be here, here, here. Kind of anywhere here would.
Somewhere there's a quick escape.
Somewhere there's a quick escape. Quick escape, I would say. I mean, if we assume the darkness doesn't stay, then this is your best bet. If something happens to the darkness, you don't want to be next to a bunch of people. So I'll just put you there.
Perfect.
Alright, now, you said trying to get the rapier back. I assume you're going to try and knock them out with your weapon attack?
What was that?
Are you going to attack them with your melee weapon, the dagger?
Yes.
Okay, then you may roll it.
I believe you have advantage because they can't see you.
Yes.
Sorry, I had to clear my nose. Yes, that is correct. I was going to say that she got the sneak attack because of that, but I actually forgot she rolls with advantage as well.
Hee.
So, 2 dice.
So that is going to be... Sorry, mathing in my head because I currently do not have my calculator. 14 to hit.
Are you not in Tailspire right now?
I am not,
Okay.
because...
Just making sure that I'm not just, getting a weird thing on my screen. Against one, a 14 to hit?
Mm-hmm.
14 is going to miss.
Yep, that's what I thought.
And that was with advantage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I rolled low.
Twice.
Very low twice.
Unfortunate. Alright.
Certainly.
You've used all of your actions at this point. You have a dagger in one hand, your bow in the other hand. So, there is not else you can do. Which makes it Spider's turn. So, can I just grab, everybody and make them all disappear at once?
Technically, but also since they haven't hidden, don't they still know where they're at?
No. Haha!
So you don't need to hide anymore if you're obscured?
No, you do. But this is more cinematic.
Ah, gotcha.
It's just a wall of darkness. And hopefully a reminder that everybody has to roll at disadvantage to hit things. And by everybody, I mean me. Reminder to me that everybody has to roll at disadvantage to hit things. So, what's the play, Spider? There's a wall of darkness in front of you, somebody inside that darkness whom you can kind of hear where they are, so you could attempt to attack them, but you'd be at disadvantage. Has your main melee weapon.
Yeah. I want to just check what actions.
Very mumbly.
I'm just checking my actions to see.
Okay.
I believe my bonus action is unarmed strike, but I don't want to get in. I don't want to get too close to anyone because I am hurting very badly. Did you ever look at the optional stuff for the classes?
Probably not. I don't remember what you're talking about, so remind me.
Alright. Oh, so I'll send you the... This is an optional thing for rogues. I think it's from Tasha's Cauldron.
Alright, I mean, as long as it's from the 2014 rules and not the 2024 rules, that's fine.
Yeah, no, it's Tasha's Cauldron, dude.
I don't know. I know they updated everything, so I just had to check. Alright, so, yeah.
No, it is like a legacy thing.
Okay. Alright, I don't see a major problem with that at the moment. give it a go.
I'm not going to get close, but I am going to like just draw a dagger and throw it where I recall.
Okay. You're gonna aim for the person who took your rapier?
Yes, where I recall them being.
Okay. You recall them being pretty much straight ahead of you down the hallway, like in line.
Yeah.
So you're going to take out this dagger, kind of weigh it in your hand for a second, hold out your other hand, trying to aim the shot well against a matte black swirling cloud and go, I think about there. The advantage granted by steady aim will cancel out the disadvantage, so roll.
Let's hope this works. Ooh, that's 22.
22 will hit.
Huzzah. That is 4, 3 plus 3 is 6 piercing.
And do you have sneak attack?
Oh yeah, because I do have advantage.
You don't have advantage, but you also don't have disadvantage because of the advantage? And you have an ally next to them.
See him.
But and they're blind, actually.
Yes,
so no, you do have advantage. No, it just cancels. Doesn't matter how many sources you have; they just cancel. Right? Because you would advantage because they're blind, but disadvantage because you can't see them.
Also, I get sneak attack if an enemy of my enemy is within 5 feet of them. Oh, but also I can't have disadvantage on the attack roll. So I have advantage and disadvantage canceling each other out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you effectively don't have either.
Right. I believe that to be true, which would mean you don't have disadvantage. Which would mean you could still sneak attack. I mean, unless...
So long as you meet the other requirement.
Right, exactly. So, wait, are you a swashbuckler? Isn't that a swashbuckler thing?
But
The enemy's ally not within 5 feet.
Nope,
No,
that's
the
the
rogue
standard.
thing.
Is
no,
it?
that's
Most
I always
people
thought
describe
that
it as
was
having an
FPS.
ally within 5 feet, but it's actually an enemy of the enemy.
Yeah, as long as
That's-
it's something that they don't consider an ally within 5 feet
Oh,
of them.
sorry. I absolutely misunderstood what he said. I thought he meant the enemy didn't have an enemy ally within 5 feet of them, meaning they didn't have a friend nearby, so they're considered alone, which is why I thought it was a swashbuckler thing. Okay. Now I
No,
get it.
it's
Yes.
just-
Owls
okay.
within 5 feet, they are blind. You can't see them. All of it ends up null, but I think that because owls within 5 feet, it gives you sneak attack.
Yes.
Does that sound... Is
The idea
anybody
is they're
against me
distracted.
saying that? I think he gets sneak attack.
is word salad, isn't it?
Kind of. It's just, you don't have disadvantage, and you have an ally within 5 feet of them. So, I think that meets the requirements for sneak attack.
He has jumped the appropriate hoops.
Which is ridiculous, because he's sneak attacking an enemy he can't see.
Well, the important thing is that the enemy can't see him.
I mean, that does appear to be the important thing, doesn't it? Why should I need
Yeah,
to
'cause I
aim
think
my
the idea is
lethal
the-
blow at their jugular? Like, I just hit it because I'm naturally that cool.
Yeah, there's,
Okay.
depends on how you think
So
of it.
sneak attack then is it 6.
Okay. So that was 15 total?
6 and 6 is 12.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was 6 and 9. So 12 total. And that was on guard
Yeah.
1. Okay. You hear a shriek of pain from within the cloud of darkness. You know that you have hit your mark and hit it well. But you do not hear the telltale thud of a falling enemy. They appear to still be up.
Anyone that could see Spider's face is there's a brief look of disappointment just crossed his face. I think I still have a bonus action.
Yeah, you still have a bonus action and a move action.
No, I've used up my move action. Steady aim uses up your move action.
Wait, let me reread that. No, it uses up your bonus
you use
action.
Steady aim.
It uses up your bonus action.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it doesn't use.
But I think
action,
requires
but
that you
just-
not
just-
move, doesn't it?
Yes, it requires that you not move. That is correct. Well, I
You
mean,
can't have moved, and then you don't get to move.
oh yeah, your speed is 0 until the end of the current turn, yes. For I was about to say,
Yeah, so that's
well,
the-
it only requires that you haven't moved before, but then I see, yes, speed is 0 until the end of the current turn, so yes, you cannot move. So your bonus action is used, your attack action is used, and your move action is voided. So you are done, sir.
Dunzo.
Reggie!
Okay. Well, I don't know that anyone has died. I just know that there's been a lot of explosions.
There's been a lot of explosions in these very echoey tunnels. That are, you know, not so deep below the surface in a populated part of town.
I'm trying to decide if Reggie would be concerned if, because of the explosions, Nigel is gonna try and like leave there. And if he runs into us, that's fine. He can die there. But like, if he runs away, it's more of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I am going to... I'm going to move the 2 squares so that I'm more out of the, like, doorway if Nigel does try and book it there.
Uh-huh. Give him a chance to book it.
And I want to prepare suggestion. Can I make an insight roll?
What are you trying to know?
Given what I know about Nigel, do I think that he's the kind of person who's going to trust in my lie about, like, hide there, I'm going to get them to stop? Or do I think that given the loudness that has occurred after that plan has been suggested to him, he's going to look at it as, you know, no plan survives enemy action and try and change the plan?
I would roll that insight, yeah. Roll it.
That is 3 on die, which gives me a 12. That's what I get for not rolling in my dice tray.
So in your heart of hearts, Sam, were you in Nigel's shoes? What would you do in this situation?
Were I Nigel, I would try and run away from this fight.
Okay, you believe that's what he will do.
Okay. I am going to... I'm going to prepare a suggestion spell to cast on Nigel
when he runs
when
by.
I see him run by there.
Okay. Is that all you're doing?
Yes.
Okay. Human Captain 1. Well, I'm pretty sure she knows that somebody just tried to stab her with a dagger and failed, and then she got stabbed with a flying dagger, which sucked. Real bad. So I think she's going to take a blind swing at the space next to her and try to hit her assailant in the darkness. Alright, 2 dice. She did not want it badly enough. Alright, with a 3 on die with disadvantage, that's not going to hit. She's going to try again with her fighter powers. $19 on the 2 on die. Okay. Ariel, you are going to easily see and either parry or dodge the incoming attacks as she swings wildly in the darkness.
Yeah, I'd like to say I would like to try.
No, you do. She misses.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
She's going to attempt to move away through the darkness. I do believe that this provokes an opportunity attack from both Al and Twilight.
I can't see, so I don't know.
I moved her outside of 10 feet. But sure, let's reveal Al, reveal Twilight, and reveal the target. There we go. So, they were here. They attempted to move to here.
That is...
Do I get to know if Al is making an attack of opportunity or not first, or?
Sure.
Right.
You can both see perfectly clear as day.
Then if Al's making an attack, I'll hold off and wait for one of the other ones. But if she's going for it, then I'll... if not going for it, then I'll attack that one.
Alright, so I guess the question then is, Al, are you going to take the opportunity attack?
Yes.
Okay. Roll with advantage.
Okay, my first dice roll was... no. I don't like having advantage when I'm trying to do non-lethal attacks, guys.
Why?
Because I got a nat 20.
Okay.
So just do non-lethal.
Non-lethal is decided when you bring them to 0.
Yeah.
If you bring somebody to 0 with a melee attack, you can choose to knock them unconscious as opposed to kill them. But in 5e, there's no concept of lethality outside of when somebody hits 0.
There is one concept of lethality outside of that, and that's called massive damage. You have to reduce them to, like, negative their full health value or negative their bloody health value or something like that.
We are not well positioned to deal massive damage, even with that crit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Vendar damage. Level 20 Vendar damage.
No, I'd say this worse than that. I said that we're talking about like dynamite.
I mean, you guys have killed
on the
people with
dynamite
massive damage without dynamite in the past.
Yeah. The Bahir was massive damage. Is that thing
I also will say that, like, this concept of massive damage is different from the concept of massive damage in other editions, which is just, even if they don't go to 0, if they take a certain portion of their HP from a single hit, they outright die. That's usually what massive damage means. This is different. This is, like, overflow damage, in that they have taken so much damage while at 0 that they cannot stay bleeding out. They simply die. But none of that is really necessary information, just a little factoid. Anyway.
They take so much damage, they're liquid.
Yeah, they take so much damage so quickly, they just go and die of shock. Alright, so, critical damage on your dagger with sneak attack. What did you get?
Oh. Pulling up my calculator, because... God forbid.
And remember that we're running crits as max damage plus a single roll for things.
Correct. So,
Okay.
your sneak attack is what, 3d6?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's 24 points of damage just from the dagger plus crit, plus sneak attack on crit. Plus your dexterity, because it's a dagger, which you said was 4, so it's 28 points of damage. So now you roll 4d6.
Oh no. Okay.
I think a dagger is d4, isn't it?
Is it d4?
It is.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
So
I apologize.
1d4 plus 3d6.
1d4 plus
roll.
3d6, so 22 plus 4, 26. So yes, 1d4 plus.
That's 20 total damage.
Okay.
Okay, so you deal
46
46 damage in this single attack of opportunity.
Oh no.
Okay, so it's going to
That's not
take them
corrected.
to
Oh no.
82 points of total damage.
Oh no.
They had 50 maximum HP, so that is beyond their
Okay.
bloodied value expressed as a negative number.
I think that in 5e it is
Full health,
a
right?
single hit. that it's full health, and I think it is a single hit. So like I think if somebody's unconscious,
Yeah.
and you stab them, you need to do their entire health and damage, and that you stab them a second time, and you would need to do their entire health and damage, because I think it's counted separately, because you're never actually at negative.
Yeah.
In this edition, you're always at 0.
Right, but you can hit it from being conscious if somebody does enough damage.
Like if a single hit brings you to negative your max HP.
Okay, yeah, my question was it max HP or half HP? If it's max HP, then you're okay.
I can check.
Yeah, might as well. We're gonna say that she's unconscious for now until we get a ruling on it.
Until her heart gives out.
And I would say that, like, you only need to hit them twice in melee once they're unconscious to kill them, regardless of the damage.
It's very easy to get rid of death saving throws.
Because, hitting them in melee, it's worth 2 death saving throws because it's an auto crit. So hitting them twice gets rid of 4 death saving throws.
It is their maximum HP
Okay.
as a negative.
Then she is definitely unconscious.
I think the thing that we're confusing it with is the massive damage optional rule.
Yeah.
Which is in a single source of damage,
Yep.
you take more than half of your HP maximum. You make a DC 15 con save,
Yep.
or roll in the system shock table.
Right. So that, I thought that was only in previous editions. That is what I described a little earlier, so I didn't know that was in this edition.
So that's an optional rule. I don't think we've played with this particular one.
And given what you guys do for damage, I wouldn't, because it would just be every time. It would be multiple times per fight.
Yeah.
Like, that would be... And a single hit, that was 46 points of damage, right? She had 50 HP total.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not too difficult for a rogue to be able to do that on a or really anyone on a crit to be able to do half damage, which if you're already I think if we were rolling crits as rolling, then it might make sense to consider doing the massive damage rule to make it so that it like balances out the fact that not all of your crits are going to be great, but the crits that are going to have really good odds of doing all this other stuff to them. But
I could see that.
I personally prefer just damage.
Yeah.
It's not having to think about another table and like all this shit.
So she tries to move away in the darkness, kind of blindly hobbling around her ally, and immediately gets stabbed in the back by Al. Non-lethally, of course, and falls unconscious. The weapons in her hands clattering to the stones. All of you around the shadow can hear that happen. As you hear it. Guard 2 is dead. Guard 3 is not dead. So, Guard 3. Yeah. I think Guard 3 is probably gonna, like, recognize the grunt. And you're just gonna hear them saying, Captain? Captain? Retreat! And they're going to try to run away.
The way you said Captain there just made me laugh because I just posted a GIF for Captain Hook and you reminded me it was me.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So, this is your moment, Twilight.
Alright, I'll make my attack of opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Now, Guard 3 is bloody, so this'll probably kill them.
Yeah, I think I still need to roll it, though, because it was a natural 20.
Oh my gosh.
What the hell, you two?
Well, they both had advantage, so it's a little bit more likely. Yes, so you're using the whip, which is, what, a D6 or a D8?
D4.
Oh, okay. That's even more reasonable than I thought. I didn't remember what whips did. Alright, so yeah,
Whips
same...
are a dagger with reach.
Yeah. So yeah, same deal. Base 26 points of damage. Please roll a d4 and 3. No, wait, you have 3 or 4 decks?
I have 4 decks.
You have 4 decks. Okay, so yeah, exactly the same as Al. Base 26 damage. Please roll a d4 and 3d6. I think this person's gonna die.
Yeah, this one might just die outright.
They were real close to their maximum HP. Like, they were real close to dead already. Like, down. They had 4 HP left. So they're at negative 20.
Well, I didn't roll particularly well. 38 points of damage.
Yep. Yep, they're dead. They die. 38. That was with the base 24, or that was just on its own? No, it had to be with the base 24. Yes. You can't be higher because of that 24 is max. Wasn't particularly well, but it didn't matter. You still overflowed their full health by 4 points.
Poor guy.
Yeah. 38. 66. Yeah, so they went to negative 66, which is, or sorry, they didn't go to negative 66. No, they took 66 points of damage, which is more than double their HP. That's how I need to say it. Okay, so this person is extraordinarily dead, and didn't make it to that square, actually. They died here. Knocked down, and if you would please receive a blue base color because you are cold. Yeah, so you...
I hate that, thank you.
Twilight, you see this person running from the battle, yelling to the other guards to flee as well, and you lash out your whip, which catches around their neck, and you yank it, and they kind of tumble backwards like they're clotheslined as you yank them backward during the run, and as they hit the ground, you just hear a crunch.
Oops, too hard.
As their neck breaks. Guard 4, where is Guard 4? Guard 4, here's the order to run. And begins running. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Guard 5.
I'm surprised I didn't get disoriented in the darkness.
They were right next to the edge. I
Would be
mean,
funny though
it's
if they
not
just ran
unreasonable
straight
that
into
they
the
get
wall.
disoriented, but this person's right in the middle of it. They have no idea what's going on. I think they're going to try and turn the way they think that they should go, which means they'll trigger an opportunity attack as they go and feel for the wall, which Twilight can't take. Never mind. Haha! Finds the wall. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. The other one didn't remember to sprint. Guard 6. Guard 6 is going to, those with the special dark vision can see that Guard 6 is going to pull out a, that sphere. You've seen a bunch of them pulling out, the little tiny soccer ball, and begin turning it over in their hands, looking for something. And they're going to apparently find it, as they're going to hold it above their head in both hands and press it, and the whole sphere is going to start to glow. And the floor here is going to change shape. Where is my build? There we go. Build. as they create a wall of stone. It is at this time that you can curse Lara Madness.
Fucking prick.
I didn't say it.
No, it's
I
so
would
much
like to
funnier
stop
when Santa
concentrating
does
on
it.
darkness.
Okay. No, that's not it. Is it here? There it is. Clicking on the wrong corner. Nothing else is
Or
hidden.
Nigel, huh?
Guard 7. Guard 7 is dead, which means Guard 8 is Nigel. You don't know what's going on with him. But I will say that you don't see him run out of the room like you expected to,
Okay.
Reggie.
Fair enough. I'm still concentrating on the spell.
Fair enough. Vulcan. They erected a wall of stone that becomes visible to you as the darkness dissipates, revealing a bunch of dead bodies and an unconscious
Stone
body.
between me and the last living guard. Is that it?
There is what?
How many guards are left?
None.
Like at least 3.
Okay, but I can't see them because there's a wall of stone.
Yes.
And I don't really have any way of getting through a wall of stone other than casting Shatter again.
Did my axe suffer enough?
Would you like to cast
already
Shatter
done.
again?
I don't know if it would even hit them because I can only cast it up to the wall.
Well, I mean, is the point to hit them with the Shatter or to get rid of the wall?
True. I could get rid of the wall, but I could do it without hitting any of my team's underway.
Well, anywhere you put it against the wall, Twilight is in range of it. So you can definitely attack the wall if you're willing to blow up Twilight.
Twilight's on the other side of the wall, isn't it?
No, she isn't.
Oh.
Twilight's
Isn't
on the
she
same side of the wall as you.
Oh, okay.
She is right here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm looking at spells.
You're here. Twilight's here. Al is here. You should be able to hold your tab button on keyboard and see all the...
Yeah, I have a different page open over Tailspire right now as I'm looking at spells to see.
Okay. So, what would you like to do?
Okay, well, do you think that the only thing I could really do to damage that would be to Shatter, which would, do I have any idea how much health a Wall of Stone typically has?
Probably.
Make an Arcana check?
Yeah.
I am good at Arcana.
It was a favorite of an associate of your father, so...
17?
17's pretty good. Let's see here. Red wall is 6 inches thick and is composed. Each panel must be... Stone.
Oops,
3.
sorry.
Why doesn't it say the number? that's supposed to be? A non-magical wall of solid stone springs into existence at a point you choose within range. The wall is 6 inches thick and is composed of... Oh, there it is. I was looking for the number. I was like 10 foot by 10 foot, but it's 10 foot by 10 foot. There was an extra 10 there that I wasn't catching. Okay. So, yes. So they would still have the 6-inch thickies. Let's see. Any shape you desire. They just went straight up with it. Made of stone that can be damaged. Each panel has that AC and that HP per inch of thickness. That's a lot of HP!
Yeah.
Reducing a panel to 0 hit points destroys it and might cause connected panels to collapse at the GM's discretion. What's the maximum damage you can do with your, shatter?
Does it do more against structures?
It does.
It does.
Okay.
So whatever it is, he was going to tell me that, and then I would double it in my head because the structures are vulnerable to it.
Look it up. Shatter is not a spell that
Well, shatter
artificers normally can.
10-foot radius? Meaning it was a 5x5? Or was it a 7x7? Is 10-foot radius.
3d8
So it's
thunder
5x5.
damage on a failed save. So.
Right. So 24, which means even double. That's only 48, and they have significantly more health than that. It would take multiple shatters. And actually, so because it's a 10-foot radius, which means it's 5 squares by 5 squares, you can place it in a corner over here, and not hit Twilight. But you would be damaging walls and potentially either floor or ceiling because the area's floors and ceilings, I believe, are 4 squares high, because going with each of these...
Does the wall go all the way up to the ceiling?
The wall goes all the way up. Yeah, there's no reason for it not to. They just sealed the area.
I don't think there's much I can do to try to get to the wall then. That's unfortunate.
Okay. Are you going to
That's
inform the party of that?
explosive. I don't think he has any dynamite on him right now. So, yeah, I'll say I can't get around this. Oh, I cannot get through the wall.
Can you
Is there
dispel
a
it?
way around?
Darkness has gone down.
I do not.
You can
I
see the wall. Is
do not believe I can dispel now. No, it is not a spell that I get. And I don't know the tunnels, so I wouldn't know if there's a way around even.
You don't know the tunnels, but the rest of the party would
Is
know the
there a
tunnels.
quick way around to the other side?
Quick? Yes? Over here.
So yeah, I don't.
Which is a place that you would have passed by on your way here. So, like, Vulcan could have noticed that that seems to connect to a parallel path over there and assume that it goes to that intersection.
I guess I'll try to go around.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I can do. Unfortunate.
Okay. That what you got?
Yeah, I couldn't do anything else, so he just went 60 feet down there.
Okay. Twilight, you have dispelled your... you've released your darkness. The wall of stone is big and sturdy, and Vulcan said he couldn't do anything about it.
Then I will... I think I'll just, follow suit and just try and roll around, especially since I have some extra movement. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Take my bonus action dash. 5, 10, 15, 25, 30. And my action to dash. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Desmin.
Maybe you won't need to roll for Desmond after all. So he's also
I mean, Desmond, if he's gonna see that it's cleared out and the wall brought up, he is not going to take any action to pursue and try to get rid of the wall. He is just going to... He's gonna kind of click his tongue like, well, that is going to be some wonderful paperwork to try to get out of this one.
I'm just gonna move back over to the cart with the dead rat on it and start... Oh, wait, that cart is probably blown to shit. Never mind.
Yeah, he was in the back anyways.
If it got caught within the shatter, then that card is gone.
Yeah, that cart got caught in the shatter.
There were
so
2 shatters.
The cart and the rat. The cart. There's just this pulped wood from the cart, just covered in gore.
Someone destroyed my rat.
Yeah, the cart's destroyed your rat.
God damn it. I had plans for that rat.
They destroyed your weapon too.
Oh my gosh.
You, so you're up unconscious, and I'll get to it anyway. So, Desmond, you've decided that it is no longer worth your time to pursue these guys. You're now focused on the paperwork. Would you like to move anywhere, considering we're still in combat rounds? Would you like to say anything to the party?
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably just tell everyone to regroup, and there's no point in pursuing. They need to get back to headquarters.
Okay. Morgan, you are conscious. You have been healed by Desmond. You see that your non-magical great axe Great axe is shattered. Just shards of useless metal all over the ground. The cart is useless wood all over the ground.
But I'll get to that, because first I see the axe. And I go, God damn it. And I start picking up the pieces and turn to the cart, and then again yell, God damn it!
And then you notice that the mulched cart is covered in exploded rat guts. Everything you love dies.
And the rat was already dead, technically, but now it's useless.
Now it's useless. It's not even recognizable as a rat anymore. The shatter was too powerful. There's bits of black fur, bone shards, there's ground beef.
And then I'm not gonna, like, I'm just gonna group up with the rest. So, like, holding the pieces of the axe. Don't really know what to do with it right now.
I will say that there is some damage to the floors here. It seems like they centered their shatters so that they wouldn't mess with the ceiling, which could potentially collapse the roads above. So this means that they damaged the floor slightly, since the sphere of shatter is very slightly taller than the height of the hallway, I have realized upon looking at the numbers again.
Actually, there is one thing I would want to do. Dropping the pieces of dice. I don't have use for them, I guess, when I can't bring them back with me. I want to see what this captain has on her. They had some cool shit, these people. Maybe the captain has some cool shit. I'm gonna loot.
Well, that ain't right. There's supposed to be another layer there. Where'd the other layer go?
If she has a cloak or something, you could use that to carry bits back.
True.
Alright, that's
First I want to loot this captain.
accurate enough. You want to loot the captain. Okay. Immediately around her, you can see that there is a rapier that you recognize as Spider's magic rapier. She was wielding a long sword that is, it doesn't, you don't know if it's magic or not, but it does look to be of fine make, with like the symbolism of the city of Volinar, engraved onto the blade and embellished onto the pommel and the crossguard. It's like very easily recognizable as a guard captain's sword. And she had a shield on her arm, which had been unstrapped so that she could take the rapier. So that's hanging loosely off of her arm. You will notice that she is, unlike the other people here, she is breathing. The shield, again, heavily embellished and, beautifully painted and lacquered to protect it. A symbol of the guard of Volinar. I don't think anybody would see this shield and not know it had been taken from a guard. Maybe it had been gifted by the guard for some reason, but, it's definitely of their ilk. And then
could be sold in the black market or smelt it down.
Yeah, it's possible. You kind of are the black market, so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, there's the armor she's wearing, which would take time to get off of her. We're still in combat turns, so right now I'm just telling you what you see. You know that she's got a pack that'll have some supplies in it, and she probably has one of those spheres that lets them cast spells. But you'd have to search her pockets for that.
Those are the things I'm curious about.
Yeah. That probably every guard that you've downed here has one of those as well, in addition to the equipment that they wear, obviously.
Yeah, there could also be scrolls. Maybe there's, information about something. Could just be spell scrolls, whatever.
Yeah. So...
And just money.
Yeah.
I think
So,
the orb's
do you
kind of
want to start
negate
going
the
through
spell
her
scroll.
pockets to find that stuff, then?
Yeah, she's out. I can tell that she wants
Yeah,
to
no,
wake
she's
up.
definitely... You're not at risk of waking her up or anything. I'm just trying to determine if you want to spend...
then I'm gonna... Yeah, then I'm absolutely gonna rummage through her stuff.
Yeah, alright. So you're going to spend multiple turns doing that. So we'll come back, either when combat turns have ended and we can deal with it, or when more turns have elapsed. So that is the end of the combat round. This brings us back to the top of initiative. So I guess the question is, do I keep running initiative rounds? Are there people here, like Vulcan, and perhaps Twilight at least, who want to go and chase down the fleeing guards, or are people going to heed Desmin's command to group up and get back to base?
It is my intention to try and catch them, because whether we knock them unconscious or get them killed, them running off is only going to cause the most problems out of any possibilities. And I can catch them.
Okay, so you are ignoring Desmin and continuing pursuit. Vulcan, same question.
Vulcan's not really happy about it, but he will stop.
He'll stop. Okay. Spider, are you going to attempt to pursue or listen to Desmond?
Listen to Desmond.
Okay.
For now, at least.
Al.
Obviously, I'll listen to Desmond.
It is not obvious, but okay. Also, you're very quiet suddenly. And then Reggie.
Reggie is... What's the range of suggestion? That's... He is 30 feet. Reggie's gonna make eye contact with the people farther in and sign, "Help me deal with the other one." And, like, point at the doorway.
Probably the ones who can make out these signs best are the closest ones, which would be Desmond, Spider, Morgan. Potentially, it's a wild enough gesture, a large enough gesture to be interpretable by Twilight. Alright, so where'd Al go? Oh, there she is. Al actually can't see the sign because of her position. The corner blocks her view of it.
Project.
Why are you so quiet all of a sudden?
I don't know. Good question. Better?
A little bit, yeah. Alright, so...
You could check your microphone volume from Windows, because I have noticed that some applications just fuck with that and just turn it down for no apparent reason.
True, she was fine earlier.
So maybe it had some application on that just turned it down.
Maybe.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, little better.
Alright, so Al, it is your turn. It sounds like there's at least one person who wants to continue initiative, so I'm going to have to stay in initiative for now. So what are you going to do? Desmond has said, let's stay here, let's get back to base, regroup on me.
I would heed it, honestly.
So, are you going to walk over to him?
Before we leave, what about her? Al would point, like, over her shoulder, like, refer to,
The unconscious
The-
guard captain?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as you're saying that, you do see that, like, Morrigan is poring over her unconscious body, going through all of her pockets. Since that started last turn.
Al would sigh and roll her eyes, seeing Morgan do this.
So, Desmond, what about her?
Well, Reggie has another guard still hiding. We might be able to convince him to take our side, that this whole debacle happened because of them.
That is what happened. Al would be nodding as...
I will say, Desmond knows that's not what Reggie meant.
Al would be trying to coax him.
Yeah, Desmond knows that Reggie doesn't mean that. Desmond is hoping to convince Reggie that this is the correct way of doing things.
Is what you're saying audible to Reggie? I'm like 40 feet from you, or like 50 feet from you.
I feel like Desmond would keep his voice down, but he would also like try to sign so that people who can't hear him would know what he's saying.
Reggie frowns at your statement.
Desmond does like kind of give a slight tip of the head of his head towards Reggie, knowing that this was not what Reggie's intentions were. But yeah, Desmond is currently on damage control.
Fair enough. Do we want to make sure if she wakes up that we at least constrict movement? Al would actually start signing voice off.
She's at least gotta die.
Oh, I can do that right now.
That was
Al
Reggie
would-
was signing that one.
Oh, if Reggie was signing it, then I didn't see it
Yeah.
because I'm not looking that direction.
Al would sign why?
The world will be better.
Desmond will. Oh, this is tough. I think Desmond will sign and quietly say that is crap. I can't find the words for this. Something in the form of like that's acceptable, but no more than that than anybody else. Nobody else, because like we already went into this mission. We were supposed to have 0 to as few casualties as we could. We don't want to make things worse.
I specifically didn't want to kill. Al would sign. I don't know about the rest of them.
I was attacked, so I fought back.
I will remind us that we're in combat turns, so I'm gonna have to cut this conversation short so that we can move through more turns here.
I think at this point Al would take out the rope from her bag and tie up the guard captain.
Alright, so you begin tying up the guard captain while Morrigan is still going through her pockets. Spider!
I am going to move forward 10, 15 feet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to grab my rapier,
Yep, easy.
sheathe it, and the dagger that I threw. Did I think hit her?
Yes, it's actually still lodged, kind of in her side.
Yeah, I'm going to take that back.
Spleen juices follow the blade out. I'll let you say a couple of sentences if you want to, but otherwise, I'm gonna think that picking up those weapons and putting them back on your person is gonna be it for actions. I mean, unless you want to, like, kill her with a weapon you just picked up, I don't know.
I'm just gonna, like, nudge her with my foot and be like, so, what are we doing with this one?
Out of curiosity, does Spider have sign language?
No.
Oh.
I didn't get any.
So you have no idea what everybody's been talking about?
I didn't give him sign language.
Well, to be fair, he knows what Desmond has said because Desmond has said it quietly as well as signed. And he was being right next to Desmond.
Okay, so you know Desmond's side of it. You know that, like, he's okay with killing one more person for some reason.
It's the guard captain. I mean, if it comes down to the guard captain's word versus the leftover guard, they'll probably go with the guard captain. So that's why Desmond believes that's the only last acceptable kill.
Just look to... Was it Morgan who threw the first punch?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Spider will just gonna look at Morgan and go like, this is quite a mess.
She started it.
Well, we have, well, almost certainly ended it.
Okay.
If they'd just let us pass, nothing would have
Almost.
happened.
Alright, any other movings or doings?
No, that is it.
Okay, I'm gonna call that there. I'm talking. Reggie, what do you wish to do?
Reggie's gonna stay here to wait for
Backup.
Desmond to head over this way, because Desmond wants to tell a story, and
Desmond wants to tell the story.
yeah. Reggie wants to make sure that Nigel doesn't book it before Desmond can have his discussion with him.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
he's waiting for the backup.
Wait, alright, guard. Alright, who's still alive? 4, 5,
Great question.
and 6. 4, 5, and 6 are still alive. Alright, so 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 30.
If it's of any help, since no one else is coming this way, I'm not going to be pursuing them, so I don't need initiative. If, like, Nigel / Reggie don't.
Okay, just need to kind of figure out where they're all headed. Okay, so does that mean neither you nor Vulcan is going to pursue?
Yeah, Vulcan's listening to Desmond.
Okay. Then, in that case, I will end initiative. As these other guards continue to make their way away from the scene of the problem. The wall stays up for now, which means that you can now move and talk freely. So, Reggie is over by the door, waiting for Desmond. Desmond is aware of this. Morgan is scouring the body for good loot. And, yes, it looks like, Vulcan and Twilight are returning. So, perhaps we shall first deal with Reggie. So, Desmin, are you going to Reggie, whom you know is waiting for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me just pop back in. Oh god. Turned too much. Oh god.
Alright. So, Desmond approaches you, Reggie. Is anybody else going with Desmond, I guess, before the talking starts?
After carrying up the guard captain, like,
Okay.
I mean, kind of depends, because, like, when Twilight's on her way back, she is pissed
Mm-hmm.
and going to be yelling, like, what are you doing? Why are you letting them get away?
You say this as
Yeah,
Desmond is heading
I was-
over to Reggie.
I was gonna talk to Spider.
Yes, and I want all of those conversations to happen. I just need things to kind of go one at a time so that we all...
Yeah, that's why I didn't say anything earlier,
Yeah.
but since you asked.
Yeah. Fair. And I appreciate that. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, Desmond's going to be heading away from you as you come back, so I guess are you going to just shout that at his back while he's heading up to Reggie?
I'm shouting at everyone.
Oh, okay. Then, sure, yeah, that's going to interrupt the Reggie thing, because that's as he's heading over. So, yeah. Whomstever wishes can try to respond to why are we letting them get away.
As Desmond said so.
Yeah, Morgan's gonna laugh.
Got you covered, boss. Throwing you under the bus.
Buses are common in Volinar now. Nalia made sure of it.
Look, everybody should have equal ability to get around her city.
Oh my god.
Also, it was, probably at least a joint effort between Nalia and Claire to make sure that there were buses for everybody.
Buses to be thrown under.
Oh gosh. I guess now that you're putting more walls in my way, I'll move a little bit, and then so Desmond, I guess we'll stop short of getting to Reggie.
I wasn't trying to, but it did make sense.
And I guess walk back because
Shouting is bad.
yeah, he knows that there's still a guard in the area, so that they're going to be trying to convince to see things their way.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't want the guard to be aware of everything. So it's going to go back to where everyone is. We are not pursuing them because, as I said before, we don't want any more casualties.
They didn't
We were
have to
told.
be, but we don't need any more witnesses either.
That counts for this bitch too.
So you were going to knock them out, which would still make them witnesses. So
No,
what does that
there's
help?
a solution for that, you fucking moron.
Oh.
And the solution would be
Me. Having
you.
worked with Twilight for a while, you should know that when jobs go sideways, she can take the ones that are left around, and if given time, can make them forget things.
Jedi mind trick. or like NIB.
Yeah,
you
Twilight's
don't know.
nickname
She
is
doesn't
the
let anyone see.
Neuralizer.
I wouldn't be surprised if Drakner had managed to make something like that too.
So you were going to take extra time to try to get to them, possibly running into more guards on the way, thus creating more people that you would have to try to make forget. And this would just keep going.
No, it wouldn't. We would catch them. And now that they're gone, and I can't catch them by myself, they've seen all of us, and are going to blame us for murder. We're going to have every guard in the city on us. And that's on you.
No, it's not on me. I've done this paperwork plenty of times. We'll
No
barely get
paperwork
off
will
with
save you from
the
me
ice.
when they come after us.
I've done it plenty of times myself as well, Twilight, if don't you forget.
I am going to interject here to say that this is actually true. Like, you're not always able to get to every person to work your Jedi mind tricks, Twilight. So there have been times where a more mundane approach has been necessary, and there you do know that while this seems like a bigger fiasco, it's definitely not like the first time things have had to be smoothed over bureaucratically. So
Yeah, but have they been murder in the past?
yes,
Okay.
like this is.
Then
I don't want to.
Arto-
I don't want to undersell it. This is not good, but
No,
in
but that's
the
important.
absence,
So then Herto wouldn't have been as aggressive, but she's still upset.
yeah. So I wanted
And
to
there
make
would
sure
be
that like
no
you
threat
and your character would
made.
know that there is some truth to what he's saying. Like, you know, you're not perfect, he's not perfect. Both of you together are usually able to keep these situations contained. So there is. He's not totally out of line to say this.
Alright, so then things would have been lowered a notch, and no threat would have been made then.
I understand your abilities, and if there was a better workaround than trying to chase them through these tunnels now that we've been blocked off, I would condone those. But now our best option is to try to get this last god on our side, and then with his help and my paperwork, then we should not have to worry.
I just hope to make my picture more charming this time.
I'm also trying to, as best I can, to avoid possible more accidental deaths, not necessarily from you, but from just other things that will hurt us more, especially when our mission, one of the main focuses, was not to have any casualties, or as few as we can.
Like, you can see that she's kind of like stewing, but she's like, doesn't have anything else to say.
Actually, Twilight, can you roll history and perception for me?
Okay, let me double check my modifier for history. 15 for that.
Okay, good. Perception.
Perception. 23.
Okay, so as you know, the adrenaline starts to come down here as you're talking this out with Desmin, and you know, beginning to see that like, okay, all is not lost. He's not totally just like freeballing it on this stuff. You're also going to be kind of struck with you're focusing on the memory of the battle, you're going to recall that the closest guards to you, the ones who got up in your face and really would have any ability to identify you, are the ones who are dead, and everybody else was much farther away and then blocked by darkness for most of what was going on. So it's not likely that the ones that got away would be able to identify you. It's not impossible, but this is just one more thing that, like, as you're kind of talking through this, kind of seeing things, trying to work through things more rationally and find a solution in the face of this, being cock-blocked by this wall, and then Desmin, you kind of go, okay, hold on. All right, maybe it's not as bad as I thought, because I'm just realizing they probably didn't see you very well. Not like the guard captain who got right up in your face and started, commenting on people's specific appearances, and then is now trussed up. And
that's what Desmin will offer to Twilight is the guard captain, since the guard captain is still alive, and although Reggie and maybe others like Morgan want the guard captain dead, that Desmond knows that Twilight's ability can kind of make that so that they don't have to kill another person.
She may
on
be
this
more
mission.
useful alive.
Character.
I don't know.
Reggie's not wrong. The world would be better.
I don't know if Morgan wants her dead or just humiliated. Maybe like take all her clothes and have her walk back out naked or something.
Wow.
It's more fun.
Oh gosh. Okay, so
that's what Desmond would offer Twilight, to work on the guard captain then. Because that would also help alleviate a major possible flaw in like this plan, is because then the guard captain wouldn't be saying anything against them that would defy what Nigel might end up saying for them.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that, Twilight?
I'll see what I can do, but I'll need a space to work first. And I think there's someone else occupying it at the moment.
I don't know, this talk has gone on for a while. How much have I managed to loot?
If you're, yeah, alright, that's fair. If you're just looting while they're arguing, you would usually have, her weapon, her shield, gone through her pockets, found a good bit of money in there, call it, 50 gold pieces. Yeah, that seems not unreasonable. 50 gold pieces, and orders. Sheets of orders. You would also obtain a magitech sphere that looks like a mini soccer ball that has, as you hold it in your hand, it seems to be made out of either fine copper or some very similar metal, though copper's pretty recognizable for how pink it is when it's pure. So it appears to be made out of copper. All of the hexagonal faces on this magic ball have symbols carved into them. They usually depict like a kind of a stick figure person performing an action, which you recognize pretty quickly is a very crude shorthand for what the spell does. Each of these is glowing dimly with its own color to help make it easier to find the one you're looking for. All of the pentagonal faces contain 2 stones protruding slightly from the surface, and the one for her, both stones on every face are illuminated with a dim blue light.
Vulcan did want to go find one of those on his own too. He picked one up.
Yeah,
One of the other guards.
yeah. There's 3 other corpses here to get it from. So yes, you can have up to 3 more of these things. But yeah, you have. I think the most important thing after that is the sheet of orders, which she has several pieces of parchment that lay out in plain common that they are to be down here. They are to prevent anyone access to the pedestal, as it is believed that there may be some dangerous residual magic on it. That they are to be relieved after 8-hour stints. They are on duty every 3rd day, switching off with other guard patrols. So this is probably their first one, since she said they've been down here for 2 days doing this. And you know that the guards always talk about the whole guard company as a unit as we, whether or not they specifically were involved in the action. And that they are to limit their interaction with the people down here. That they should be keeping to themselves. They're simply keeping people away from the statue. They're not to be policing.
Uh-huh. Well, that is absolutely something we can use.
Yeah, she was definitely not following her orders when she came and harassed you.
Yeah, I will take those to Desmin, for sure.
Okay.
This should clear a lot of things up. And also, do you think this magic dimension from the pedestal could be what released the bats?
Sorry, that's to Desmin.
Yes, that's to Desmin. Which is muted.
I'm so sorry, Reggie.
Like, as long as Nigel hasn't poked his head out.
You have not seen Nigel.
But Nigel sticks to the plan.
Yeah.
Yes, it could be a possibility. I mean, we might have to figure out what truly caused it, because having this happen more, especially during business dealings, is going to be quite troublesome, especially if it escalates into something worse.
Well, they were ordered not to interact with us, so that right there should work as evidence that they didn't follow their orders.
Ah, good find. Yes, we could use this to our advantage if things don't go our way.
I will return to...
Let's hold on to that.
Yeah, I'll let you have the papers, and I keep the coins and the sphere and stuff. And I'm also going to take the sword and shield, and I'm gonna ask Spider, do you think this is enough metal that we could melt it down and make me a new great axe? Maybe make it magical.
Alright, just rogues. I am not a smith. I have no idea.
Oh, I thought you said you made your sword magical.
I could help with that. I am a smith, and I can make things magical.
Oh, excellent. You have a lot of good uses. I don't like keeping you around. But okay, let's go over to the Reggie thing, because we've been waiting long.
I want to say that I do appreciate those interactions. They're very important to me. But I do want to get to Reggie and Desmin. All right, Regiment.
I think Desmond can just sense Reggie's disappointment as he, gets close enough.
Yes, Desmond is going to give put a hand on Reggie's shoulder. He's like, I know, buddy. I know you wanted something different, but I'm just trying to follow the mission.
Well, let's just get out of here then. And then, he turns over to the room. Clearly, he. The implication with that statement of his was not like it was a let's get this bit done. Let's just leave. So.
Okay, so you turn to the room.
Yes. Desmond's just going to poke his head in first, just to kind of see where, where Nigel is. He doesn't want to go fully in yet.
Hang on. I need this music to go away. We're not in battle. And let's make it a little bit brighter, shall we? Alright. Light aboard.
Oh my god, that's so much better. Even on my laptop at full brightness, I'm like, I can't quite see everything. That's so great.
Yeah, sorry. I like the red, but it's very dark.
Yeah,
Alright.
dark is pretty dark in Tailspire.
Apparently. Like, the worst part is that it looks pretty bright on my screen. Like, I can tell what everything is. But then I watch the stream, and it's like, oh, that is dark.
I mean, even the stream, like, when I'm looking at the stream, I can still tell better, like, what is what and who is who compared to on my laptop.
Oof. Well, at least there's that, I guess. Anyway, so you poke your head in this room. You're immediately aware that this is one of those storage areas. It's possibly the basement of a particular store up above, but the variety of goods in here is kind of large. So you imagine that it's a holdover point before it's a distribution hub before things get where they're going. After they come off the boats, they come in here. So because there's coffins, there's caskets, there's boxes that are locked that clearly are of fine crafting, there's crates, there's barrels. You can see open crates that have things like pewter mugs and carafes and plates in them, supplies for like a restaurant, which is very incongruous with the coffins. So, you don't see any other way out of here besides this door either, which if it was the basement of a place, it would probably have another door or a staircase coming down into it. The other thing that you see, or rather that you don't see, is any person in here.
Desmond is going to turn back to
Reggie.
Once my screen allows me to move person. And he's going to be like, you said that he went in here, right?
Yeah. Nigel went into there when we came up with our plan.
I don't see him in here. You don't think he maybe got in boxes, did you?
I suppose it's possible. Reggie will go into the room.
You see all the boxes around. There's quite a lot. Some a person could fit in, especially, the coffins and caskets. But you do not see Reggie standing here waiting for you, as you might have expected him to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a lot of places for him to hide, though. But it would take a while to go through all of them.
I think Reggie's going to be like, hey, Nigel, if you're hiding, you should come out.
No one answers.
Reggie's going to come back over here and start signing, so that way if Nigel is in there hiding, he's not going to be able to... And he's, blocking the view of
the signs.
His hands
Yeah.
with his body.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to say, so do we want to do a thorough search? Do you want me to try and see if I can just start talking to him, and if we can get him to come out of wherever he's in there? I'm not familiar with this particular room, so I don't know if there's a way out of here. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was. We just have to find it. I'd be surprised if he knew it, though.
Can Al
Mm-hmm.
also sign with...
Yeah, if she wants to be over here, you had stayed with Morrigan and the guard captain before. Do you want to be over there?
Well, I initially declared when I went to fill up my water bottle that after Al finishes
Trussing her up.
tying up the guard captain, she would likely be with Reggie and
Okay.
Desmin.
Sorry, I missed that. Then yes, you are also over here capable of signing.
Al would sign back. Do you mind if I take a look?
Desmin will say and sign, yes, you can take a look too. I was hoping that before I came into the room, I would use thaumaturgy to try to make the floor tremble a bit and make the sound of rats, so that maybe we could play it off that the rats weren't our doing, and they could see that. He could see that through that, even though of course it wasn't our doing anyways. But just to
see, it's still happening, and you're looking at me right now, so I'm not doing it as I do it.
But that's the thing, is that he wanted to do it before Nigel saw him, since it's verbal.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make another insight roll from the conversation with Nigel? Do I get the feeling that he thinks that we did this, or that we were the cause of the rats, or did he think that when we were being all cordial and stuff? Basically, I'm trying to gauge. I assume that if he thought that we were involved in it, he would have been a little bit more hostile to me than he was.
Yeah.
So I think that's I don't know that he bought our story.
I don't know if he believed the truth. Yeah, you can roll the insight. Don't roll a 3 this time.
I mean, I'll do my best, but that wasn't a 3.
I don't like that.
That's a dirty 20.
Okay. Given the 20 minutes you spent with the guy, listening to him talk about things and just sort of filling the air with nonsense so that no real work could get done, you do not believe he ever really suspected that you were at fault for the rats.
Yeah. whether he thought that we were down here for illicit purposes is
Various
probably a
reasons.
different thing, because it's probably a safe assumption that people like.
But you did.
It wouldn't be unreasonable. But,
No, but you did already reason earlier with your 3 that he would try to leave, and you did not see him do that. However, there is evidence that he might have done that. Just because it is.
Reggie's gonna sign. Can that guard ball make people invisible?
Yeah, I was about to ask for a very timely Arcana check from Vulcan and or Morrigan, who have guard balls, and then I'll follow that request for the Arcana check with a. Is anybody just pushing the buttons?
Oh God! Please don't randomly
Vulcan would
push
try
buttons.
to figure out what they were before he pressed them.
Oh yeah, but absolutely not press any of them right away.
I will say, for Vulcan, since I'm interrupting at this point anyway, what you notice for all of the guards that you pull the balls off of, unlike the one that Morrigan recovered, all of them on their pentagonal faces have 2 stones, and only one of them is glowing.
It is interesting.
And it is
Vulcan
uniform
would
around the
have
ball. Every pentagonal face has 2 stones, and every set of those 2 stones has 1 dim and 1 bright. 1 off and 1 dim, I guess, because they aren't particularly bright to begin with. So, Arcana checks from both of you.
Okay.
$18.
Nice.
Let's see. Arcana.
Vulcan's good at lots of things that Vendar wasn't.
Yes. He's not good at everything Vendar was good at, but
It's
he's good at a lot of things that Vendar wasn't.
Okay. Believe this or not, but 18.
All right, double 18s. So both of you are sitting here turning the guard balls over in your hand, looking at these differently colored images on the hexagonal faces. And you, like I said, you noted that they all contain a pictogram of some kind. Most of these depict at least one stick figure on them, usually in the midst of performing some motion or in a pose that seems to try to convey what the what pressing that face will do, what the effect is. So like on one that's kind of glowing kind of a tan color, you see a stick figure with its hands raised above its head, and then in front of this stick figure, you see what appears to be a representation of a wall with craggy lines down it. And with an 18 in Arcana, you make the logical leap and say, that's probably Wall of Stone. Turning these things around, you see more things, like a bunch of small indicating stick figures surrounded by what looks to be a sigil of fire, probably Fireball. And then eventually, you know, turning it and looking at it, you do both at some point in your musings come upon one that appears to just show a stick figure that is comprised of dotted lines instead of solid lines like the others.
Yes, I do think this ball can make them invisible.
All right then.
Well, that's not good.
I can detect magic.
All right. So you're gonna come over to Reggie and offer to do that then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. I would think that after using that the sensible thing to do would be to get the hell out of Dodge.
Alright. Detect magic. I think it's still just a cone in front of you, 30 feet. So, where are you pointing this cone? I'm just gonna sweep this room.
Yeah, I'll just look through the room.
Okay.
I'm detecting magic.
I can't show you magic that isn't in sight, huh?
You know that magic is there, you just can't focus on the aura.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can detect magic through certain.
Okay.
thicknesses of
So
the-
some of the
Yeah, it's
wooden containers here seem to have very minor magic auras. And there's not just one. But you don't see any aura that seems to be, big enough or powerful enough to represent an invisible person in this room. You don't feel that anybody is standing here invisibly waiting for you to go away. You don't get that sense. And actually, I have to apologize because I was supposed to do something earlier and I didn't. Okay, and that. What is your passive perception, Reggie only?
Reggie's passive perception is a 16.
Okay. You did hear some movement, while you're having these conversations nearby, but, you kept looking and checking and you didn't see the guy, and the hallways are not quiet, so it wasn't really obvious what you were hearing or where precisely it was. Every time you heard what you thought was a footstep, you would look and you didn't see him, and at that point you didn't think he could become invisible. Now, knowing that he probably can become invisible, you're realizing that you may have been hearing him sneak by invisibly and is no longer in the room.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It was long enough ago that he could be quite distant from here, but moving at the speed he was, he's probably still, if you started sprinting, you'd probably run into an invisible dude.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, do you want to start sprinting and try to run into an invisible dude? Or send your magic detecting robot to try and do it.
So, if Reggie's sprinting, he probably won't run into the invisible dude. He's not very fast.
I think that your Cabot bot over there is quite fast, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
Oh, it can just be Cabot.
Cabot.
He's clearly a cabbage.
No.
So I think that he might have snuck out. If he was, he
You know
would have
which
been
way
going
you think
slow.
the footprints are going.
Yeah. I think he would have been going in that direction.
Yep.
The questions before us right now are, one, do we want to chase him down? And when Reggie says that, he's looking very specifically at Desmin. And two, do we think that he would have just gone in a straight line? I think that that's probably the most likely, because he doesn't know the tunnels very well. So if he started trying to go, zigging and zagging, he'd be worried about getting lost. So he probably just went straight, so that way he would know, I just need to turn around and go that way once I am sure that things are quieter. So if we go in that direction quickly enough, we'd probably catch him.
I just stopped us from trying to chase more guards down the tunnels.
I need to save face.
We do have the guard captain still, and if Twilight can work her magic, then the guard captains say will have more weight.
I don't
than-
think
Yeah,
that. So, actually, let me ask the voice in the sky. I don't think that he had gone deeper into the fight and then snuck past me again. I basically thought that he went like by me and away.
Yeah,
Basically,
and very recently, like according to your perception and memory, you basically just heard him go in the room, and then he was very quiet for the rest of the fight. And then the fight ended and you started talking about things, and that's when you started getting the sense that somebody was moving around you, but you kept checking and not seeing anything, while assuming he couldn't be invisible. So you think that he actually was being a good boy until some point he decided his odds were not as good as they once were. He became invisible and tried to leave. You believe he really did just leave, going that direction.
Okay. So, I don't think that he saw what happened in the fight. I think it's possible he overheard some of the discussions that were being had, but also he was in that room. We weren't trying to... Most of the time that Reggie was having conversations with people, he was signing at them.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't... There was shouting going on.
Are you signing right now?
Reggie would... Or Vulcan is in the room with us having the discussion, so Reggie would be talking really quietly.
Vulcan does understand sign too, so if you need
then Reggie would be signing. Reggie would start signing, like would be signing just like by default here, and then would have. I guess if Vulcan didn't know, he would have stopped and then started talking. But if Vulcan was part of things, then he would have just been signing.
Yeah, I have to apologize because. Ari, you said that you wanted Al to go in there to look around, but we didn't actually have any declarations at that time. And that's my fault, because I got sidetracked. What did Al want to look at? In what way did she want to search that the others hadn't? I'm so sorry.
I mean, it's okay.
No, that was bad of me. I'm sorry.
I guess, like...
Come closer to your mic, please.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi. Okay. I guess really more so try to... Which is really stupid, but try to get an idea if, like, people are glossing over something. Maybe something got accidentally, like, hip checked and fell over.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. So I
a little bit
apologize
more like, not just a, oh, he's not in there, okay.
Yeah. Alright, so I apologize. So I'm just going to step back for a minute because everybody should get their their spotlight. Al, I want you to roll me investigation, survival, perception, those three, and tell me what those numbers are.
Okay, you said investigation, perception...
And survival.
And survival, thank you.
Since Desmin is aware that she's doing this, can he give her guidance for?
Sure. Roll an extra d4 with all of your things.
Sounds good.
And this would have been like right before Vulcan came over and confirmed that he wasn't in there magically. Because she declared that before we knew he could
You said
become invisible.
+4, right?
A d4.
Plus D4? Okay. For each of them or just one?
Each of them.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, good.
Trying to hit so many little things at once. I forgot today to finish other thoughts first.
Yes, after playing BG3, I also love guidance, but I'm trying not to be like, guidance here, guidance that shit, guidance everything. I was gonna be like, nope, only when like Desmin is aware, like obviously, be like, okay, now I'll give this person guidance.
Desmond's over there just feel disturbance in the force. If somebody was rolling a d20 without a d4.
Arathis, help that person.
But that's your enemy. I don't care.
They're rolling a d20. They need guidance. All right, they hit you. Arathis helped you do that.
You better thank Arathis for hitting me.
Arathis. All right, so what you got? 3 rolls.
So, this is without modifiers because at the moment, D&D Beyond is being a piece of shit. And I know that's why we don't use them. Anyway, I got logged out of my D&D Beyond account and I needed to password reset, and I'm still waiting on the password reset.
Fine. Alright, so give me the things without rolls.
Those I put in the... Oh.
No, not without rolls. Without modifiers. Got it. Just the rolls.
Well, boop. Oh. Because I accidentally originally put it in the ping chat, not... But... That is without modifiers. The 22, by the way, was an nat 20.
Nice.
Guess I should have.
There it is. Okay. Those are all great rolls, especially once the modifiers are on there. So you go around this place, and you got a careful eye for all of this, just looking for anything that seems like it's been disturbed more recently. You're kind of looking for an energy to it, like what kind of got tossed there and has been sitting and waiting, and what might have been bumped into. The room isn't meticulously laid out, but things are stacked, you know? Clearly whoever put things in here was not just tossing things into corners. They were placing them. So with that in mind, you go around this place before Vulcan gets there with his magic. And you're finding that in about 90% of what you look at, it's all been sitting here. There's, a patina of dust. There is, just the aura of the place is that of waiting. With the exception of one thing, where you can see a bit of displacement of the lid of one of the caskets. Very minor, like it had been, like it was still settling back down, like whatever cushion under it is still kind of in the way of it fully closing. And you just see like the barest hint of a hand or glove print on its lacquered surface, breaking up the more uniform covering of dust. And you can check this, you think, okay, hey, maybe he's in there, maybe he's hiding, so you indicate to the others, and you go to kind of lift it, but there isn't anything in there at all. It's a pristine, empty casket waiting for an occupant. You think, though, that he probably checked it and maybe spooked himself with the thought of dying, and that's why he's not here, but he did seem to be careful not to touch anything else. And that, while not great, is still useful information, at least about his personality.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just telling it like it is. He was hiding in here, he was waiting. You get the feeling that probably he became convinced that he was gonna die, and that trusting this guy who's friends with people who are definitely killing the other guards may not be the wisest choice after all. And so he decided, okay, it's not, this is not gonna work out well for me, I gotta get out of here.
Okay.
You piece this story together from feeling the energy of the area and checking everything meticulously for signs of use, signs of touching.
And if, like, I follow that quote-unquote trail, does it lead anywhere, or?
I mean, out the door, but other than that, no.
Oh, shit. And that is kind of just a Ari out of character, also in character.
Yeah, but then they come in, they start checking for magic, and that's when Reggie has that moment of, shit, he can become invisible? I think he went past me earlier. So now we jump back to the present. Sorry for the, everything. So, you were discussing if you were going to send Vulcan after this guy, since he can detect magic in a cone in front of him and run this guy down with his cabot legs.
Yeah.
Probably
I'm
would
not
be a bad
sure.
idea.
I'm not sure if he would have heard anything about discussions that we were having over there before he did leave. Or if he was just having second thoughts about my plan, which, in all fairness, not a great plan.
I don't know. I still don't think it's worth it to chase after him then. But that is my opinion.
I think if your intent to talking with him was to talk with him and get him to understand a certain way that things went. Mika has opinions.
She always does.
Running the guy down while he's invisible is probably the way to spoken.
Yes, indeed. And that was my intention, was to talk with him / redirect any possible thinking against us. And I would rather not jeopardize that.
Are we running a ministry of love right now?
I'm just surprised that
truth is right.
like that people are listening to Desmin. Like with Raiken, this would never happen.
It's true.
People listen to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Desmond's more of a leader.
He's got that whole God on his side that people actually believe in, unlike Cord.
Yeah, the thing's more than just punch things.
That Desmin could lift up the table.
Punch gods are dime a dozen, but gods that get things that grease the wheels of bureaucracy, now those gods I can trust.
That's a god's god.
She's a god and she does godly things.
So Reggie's perspective on it is the best thing to do would have been to kill all of them. But since some of them got away on top of Nigel, the benefit of that death is less so.
How likely is it that he is... I don't want to say this incorrectly, but afraid of a lot of things? Based off when you were speaking to him, Reggie.
To the voice in the sky. I think that he was... I assume there... I guess I can roll another insight check if you want.
No, I think you've rolled enough insight checks.
Yeah.
I need the question posed one more time. I apologize.
Al was asking how likely is it that, our friend is a bit of a scaredy cat.
He did choose to become a guard.
I mean, yeah, he listened to you and did not help the other guards, so he definitely is hidebound.
Okay.
And by you, I mean Reggie.
Yeah.
Since that
Yeah, Reggie was
question's
basically
posed to
like,
Reggie.
don't go and engage in that fight, and he was like, that sounds great. And then when it seemed not great, he ran.
Okay, very hidebound.
So, just out of curiosity, does anyone know the duration of invisibility, like offhand? This
Too
is
long.
Ari
Ari asking.
Ari asking.
It depends on the visibility. I think greater invisibility is only a minute. I think
Yeah,
regular
greater is only a
I-
minute. I think the
I would
normal
assume
one's
that
like an
this is
hour.
regular invisibility. Yeah, it's an hour. But
Oh well, that's
Reggie
tragic.
doesn't know that.
I assume Vulcan.
Arcana.
So the question is posed in character. Reggie's gonna say too long.
Vulcan got a 21 Arcana. So.
It is one.
It's weird being in this
Dad would
position.
know. Anytime, like, Vulcan is checking knowledge, I'm like, how likely did Vendar know that? How likely would it have come up in front of her? And the answer's always, like, very likely. So, yeah, I mean, I think that Vulcan could probably recite the differences between invisibility and greater invisibility.
I assume so. Vendar had armor that could make him
Yeah.
give him greater.
There was a
invisibility.
period of time where Vendar and Laramentis were good pen pals about magic. Laramentis thought he was just showing an interest.
And then this showed up.
And of course, you know, Vendar's best friend is Vissandrius and business partners. So.
Oh, right.
Yes. They're best friends.
They love to make crazy shit together.
They do.
So Al kind of putting math together, I guess, in her head, she would say, well, if we want to try, we could theoretically attempt to, oh, I don't know, catch up to him? God forbid.
I don't think that catching up to him, that chasing down the fleeing invisible guy is a good way to be like, no, things weren't as bad as you think they were. And try and convince him of what happened here.
Also, at hearing that, Twilight's just going to stick her head around the corner and stare at Al.
Reggie
thought.
is signing. Reggie is signing, so Twilight wouldn't have heard that. Unless
Ah.
Twilight is like coming around the door anyway to be like, look, I'm done. Or something, and like saw his hands moving.
It's just like, what is it? What did you say? What did you just say? Something stupid?
I couldn't hear you over the audacity. There's also the fact that there was a lot of commotion here.
I will point out one thing that I feel is important, which is the more you discuss it, the further away this person gets.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that you have come to a point where it is shit or get off the pot time. Are you sending Vulcan to run this person down, or are you walking away and hoping for the best?
I mean, Desmond was not going to send Vulcan.
I'll put her hands up and just signs. It's a thought, and just it's done, I guess.
Vulcan will sign that he does not think it's necessary. Given the situation with the others.
And I think Reggie's gonna nod to that and be like, well, we should get going then.
Yes, let's get going. But Desmond will again like walk with Reggie and like next to him and just sign to him, be like, "Don't worry, buddy. You'll get you'll
You'll get the
some,
next one.
you'll get some guard friends later, I'm sure."
You say that every time. And it's only true about half of the time.
Okay, so question: Did Morgan ever get a clear description, like orders of like what to do with the guard captain? If we're gonna kill her or let her live?
I believe that discussion. No, she has not been given clear orders. Not yet.
I think Twilight had been working her skills or something, right? Or had
Well,
talked about
if she's
doing
gonna do that, she kind of needs a bit more private space, which is more or less what you guys are standing in.
I mean, there are plenty of rooms.
Well, she's gonna prepare for one of the options anyway, and have like spent the time you have been talking there, just loosening the armor, taking off every hatchets and stuff like that.
I think enough discussion has been happening that, like, yeah, you could pretty much have her stripped down at this point if you wanted.
Yeah, then I would have done that.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
You suggested it earlier, so I feel I have to ask: is she just armor removed, or have you removed the clothing she wears under the armor as well?
She waits with the clothing that's under armor until she gets back information.
Okay, so
If you're gonna kill her, she's not gonna bother doing that.
okay, so the
But
armor
I
is
do
off, and
wonder what
that's it.
Spider does when she's been doing this.
Yeah, so, you know, Morgan has been taking the armor from this woman. Spider.
Did Thomas go BRB?
I don't know. I didn't notice. But in any event, Desmond isn't ordering.
I know. I heard something about someone taking armor.
Yes, Morgan has been removing the armor from the guard captain. You know, around the bonds as best as she can. I just remembered she's tied up, so that's gonna make it hard. But you're resourceful. Anyway, so, Vulcan, are you taking it upon yourself to go after this person? Reggie, are you giving him nudges to go after this person? Or are we just going to say, Desmond's right, we should let him go?
I think Vulcan had said that he didn't think it was necessary, and Reggie had accepted that, given everything else about this situation.
Mm-hmm. This man who's escaped, invisibly, is the only one other person who has the ability to identify any of you.
It is true.
Just as a last, are you sure?
Well, of course, if we're gonna try to mind control or do whatever Twilight does to the captain, the captain can ID us too. So. presumably that would negate the need to
Okay.
push him down, right?
We also have their orders, which incriminate them for
messing with you.
attacking us. Yeah.
Alright, then, being that we are at time, and I have the answer, which is we're not going to chase after this Nigel, then we'll come back over here to pick things up with Morrigan and Spider, and see what of the situation can be collected next time on Desmond's Creek. Bye, stream.
Bye, stream.
Bye, team.
Goodbye.